Welcome back to All Things Nerdy with Nate and Joe. I'm Nate, that's Joe, and today we are embarking on an anime adventure. Going to be talking about a lot of anime moving forward. We've gone back and forth about topics, and ultimately, what we've decided is we just enjoy anime so much. We want to talk about it for an extended amount of time, just see where it goes, see what we think, all that stuff. Now, we might swap it up at some point, but for right now, for currently, we're going to be talking about anime, getting to all kinds of different things. And I'll let Joe talk a little bit more about that and everything. But Joe,
Yeah, so happy to be kind of following a topic now. That's not to say that every now and then we won't throw a guest in here and talk about something random. I mean, we are all things nerdy, right? But instead of switching topics every like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or things like that, where we did a book club and we had different topics every week at one point and different guests every week, we're just going to be like, hey, we're gonna chill and talk about anime. We're gonna start out this week just kind of talking about like I think we said on entry points, so just kind of how to get into anime. But without further ado, let's talk nerdy.
let's talk nerdy. Let's do it. I'm so excited. So I have this conversation a lot. As most of you know, I'm very passionate about certain things, and anime is one of them. And it is something that I was introduced to by Joe, by Keaton, and all of that. And I have an obsessive like personality. So once I get into things that I enjoy, I just like deep in dive into it, right? And I talk to a lot of people about anime. I've gotten to cosplay, which we've shown. I go to anime conventions, which we've talked about and stuff. But the question I get the most, and what we're going to talk about today, is if you were to recommend an anime to someone, what is that entry level anime? It's easy, it's tolerable, they can follow it. It doesn't have a ton of the tropes and all of that. And then what makes that entry level anime so great and everything like that. So, Joe, I guess to kick us off, if I come to you and I'm like, Joe, what's a anime that I can get into that would be pretty easy, right? What are the kind of things that you look for to try to tell me which anime I should go with?
Man, that is I'm gonna say this a tough question because I want to know a little bit about what you like first. Because I mean, just like there's 5 billion different genres of movie, there's basically a genre for anime. Uh, for literally, I don't know. There's literally millions of different genres of anime that you can go for. Like, there's an anime about volleyball, right? So if you really, really like volleyball, I'd probably recommend Haiku to you, Nate. Like, what would you say about that?
Yeah, hey, Haikyuu is great. I have watched it because I'm big into volleyball. But yeah, I think that is one of the greatest things. Now, there's a lot of great things about anime. Don't get me wrong, but legit, there is an anime for everyone. If anyone's just like, I don't like anime, it's because really you haven't given it a shot. That's facts. It is what it is. Now, look, I have a buddy that like I don't like cartoon shows, whatever. If you can't get past that, if that is your biggest barrier to anime, then so be it. But like you said, Joe, what I ask is, what do you want? Do you want story? Do you care about pacing? Do you want fights? Do you want animation? Do you want like more adult themed? Do you care about X tropes? Like, what is it that would stop you from watching this? What is it that would like scare you away from getting into it? Or what are you most excited about? Like, I've had a couple people come up like, oh, I'm looking at getting into anime. I know Naruto's huge. I'm like, no, please don't start there. Right?
Well, I mean, it is a classic. And if you know the website to go look up what anime filler is so you can skip it, Naruto might not be a bad choice.
Naruto's still like 700 episodes. Like at that point, like you ain't getting into any other animes. I like for entry level animes, I like quick hitters. I can get in one season, maybe 2 seasons and stuff like that. Good animation, good story, good fights. Kind of overall, it doesn't lean one way or the other. But I do have like a go-to suggestion that I have,
Okay.
but it still
Well,
varies on the person.
what tell us what your go-to suggestion is. Like if you're just like off the cuff, you don't know anything about the person, just what's your go-to suggestion for first ever anime that they're ever going to watch to get them hooked on watching anime?
Most of the people I tell them Vinland Saga. I love it. The story's great. The pacing is good. The fights are good. The animation is great. The story, everything involved with Vinland Saga is fantastic. Also, one of my favorite characters in all of anime, Thorkel, is on Vinland Saga. Now, my number one is AOT. Facts. That's real. I love Attack on Titan, but Attack on Titan is not for everybody. Don't get me wrong. I am not over here just recommending right and left Attack on Titan. Also, what up, West? But you should go watch Attack on Titan, West, and finish it. Also, JJK season 2 is on Netflix, West. Go watch that also.
He didn't finish Attack on Titan.
Mm-mm.
He said you did have me watch that too. But I mean, Attack on Titan is definitely really good. It is one of the longer ones. How many seasons does that have?
Oh, like 5 or something plus
Yeah.
movies, or like Attack on Titan is a lot. And again, entry level, because that's what we're talking about here. Entry level barrier into anime. Attack on Titan is a lot. You know, like if someone is like on the fence, they don't know how they feel about anime, I'm not recommending Attack on Titan. I just can't.
Yeah. And so one that I like to recommend to people that is like that people say animes for kids, like that kind of stuff. It's short, or at least I like to recommend the first episode, like animes for kids, like that kind of thing, is Promise Neverland.
So
That will
fucked up, Joe.
quickly show you that anime is not just for kids.
Yeah, so the premise of Promise Neverland is weird, but the actual anime is still kiddie-ish in my opinion, right? Like the premise of the show is not kid friendly. Like literally it's what, aliens or hell spawns or whatever farming and eating kids, which is crazy. So not kid friendly, but still like if I have somebody that's like, so Demon Slayer is another one that I recommend a lot. If somebody's like, it's got to be pretty, I need to enjoy the animation, I tend to push them a lot towards Demon Slayer, although it is longer at this point. But Demon Slayer is animated beautifully, but they have some tropes that are really, really off putting. So I have a buddy, I was talking to him yesterday, actually. He said that he had started watching Demon Slayer and quit because of Zenitsu. He said he just couldn't stand the whininess, and that trope is constant. It's across a ton of animes. You just have that kind of one whiny character that just tags along and just like shows you the dread of everything, while the other one's like either really broody, and then the third one's like overly positive and stuff. It's like they're showing you all three sides, but
that's basically every anime trio, right? Like
yeah, 100%. But he literally was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I just couldn't get past Zenitsu. And I was like, nah, I get that. Dude's annoying as fuck. So, like, if I have someone that's like that, that's like, I don't want that, I can't go Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer's so long at this point with a movie, and then we're waiting on 2 more movies. I try not to suggest it first and foremost. I would almost always go JJK over Demon Slayer at this point. Especially, I think about
JJK's up to 3 seasons now, so
well, I think about accessibility, right? Not everyone has Crunchyroll, especially if they aren't into anime. So that's something else I ask. What streaming services do you have? I saw that. Zenitsu is such a baddie now. Yeah, he went from a saddie to a baddie. That's real. And he had one moment of badness, right? Like, I can't crown him. He I don't know. A lot of
we
people
got 2 more movies, Nate. We just got to find out.
A lot of people trying to make him out like some kind of clutch, like badass, and it was okay, right? It was a cool scene. Just I don't know. But anyway, so I asked him, "What do you have? What kind of streaming services do you have?" So that's another big factor of what goes into it. Most people have Netflix, so I know that you have several things on Netflix. You have Castlevania. So if they don't want kiddie, they want more adult theme. They don't want the tropes, but they want good story, good fights, good banter. Castlevania, go watch it. Devil May Cry is in there as well. Devil May Cry, the audio, the music, it goes hard, right?
I
I'm
saw.
watching my way through it. I'm on the final
Yeah,
episode of this season, and I had a buddy who was talking about Avril Lavigne being on there, and his wife talking about like, is Avril Lavigne on your anime right now? And just like, dude, their music is so good. I'm constantly hyped. So if you have somebody that like is like a music person, kind of needs to vibe out, feel it, Devil May Cry all day. It's fantastic. Vinland Saga's on Netflix, so it's kind of my go-to. But if I had to choose one between like JJK, Demon Slayer, My Hero, I would never recommend My Hero. I would tend
wow.
I would tend to go JJK. Although there are moments that are like, right, like it's hard to keep up with because they get like overly
Yeah,
technical. It's so good.
I don't know with JJK. I don't know if I'd be like, you should watch this as your first anime, just because again, like it does get a little more like there's just a lot going on in certain points where even like I was like I'm gonna have to rewatch this because
At breakneck pace, too, boy.
yeah.
It goes fast.
But on the Devil May Cry one, I'm on episode 4 now. Like I do remember, like I can't remember. It was like episode 2 or 3 when I was just sat back and I was like, dude, the music. I was usually I don't like really notice like the soundtracks in anime that kind of stuff, but on this one I was like, wow, like that they every moment that they put a song in, I'm like, they really are doing this well. Like they're
Dude, it goes
like
hard too. Like you're just over there like you're in it because like the music is so fitting for the art style, the story of
yeah,
the show, and just the characters in general. And it's all like rock or punk or something. It's not the, like fluffy, nice. I have like, there's a dream and all this. It's literally just like boom, just bass and jamming. And you're like, damn, okay. This is
yeah,
like episode 1 of season 2. That whole episode, I don't even remember the episode. I just remember the music. I was just
yeah.
like, I fuck with this. This is so good.
So I
Um,
would, yeah, it's more adult centered. It is. I guess if I'm trying to think through like, all right, what's one that is not like serious or fighting that kind of stuff? Like, because a lot of what we've been recommending is like either very dark, like, or like very adult, like that kind of thing. I'm trying to think through like, what if you want like something light, like something, you know, and not necessarily fighting either, like that kind of thing. Um, what do you think on that end? Have you thought
if,
about any of those?
if somebody's like, I don't really want fighting, I want a story, right? So like I know it contains some fighting, but at that point I'm going like Freerun, right? Now
Yeah,
Freerun can have a little bit slower of a pace, a little bit slower of a burn, but the show itself is absolutely incredible. The animation is great. It's about the adventure, not the destination. It shows you how important the connection with the people around you is. It illustrates and demonstrates like how those bonds can be formed, like the flashbacks that it uses, the world that it builds. Now there are some
yeah.
fights, right? But overall, the show is about the journey, the friendships, the relationships, the
The
world
lesson,
building.
yeah, the lessons learned, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I would go that way. Other than that, that's tough because I haven't watched a ton of those styles, like a slice of life type anime. I haven't
Yeah.
watched a lot of those.
Well, there. I guess like haiku would be sports related, right? They're not actually fighting. It just probably feel it like. And then the soccer one, like I watched this first season of that, and it was really
Blue
good.
Lock. So the
Blue Lock.
problem the problem with Haikyuu is a lot of people who are just getting into anime, having them read everything sub
Yeah.
is can
Yeah.
be really tough and be a large barrier to entry. Unfortunately, all of your streaming services don't have the English license rights to Haikyuu for whatever reason, right? So if you recommend Haikyuu, because I do think it's on Netflix now, if you recommend Haikyuu, it is in Japanese and they do have to read it. Now, don't get me wrong, Haikyuu is incredible. The animation is great. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. Kageyama's awesome. Hanada's awesome. The characters in general are fantastic. It is literally just that roadblock, that barrier of asking someone that they have to pay attention and read the whole time. So, like me and Steph, we've watched 80% of Haikyuu at this point. We haven't even finished it all because a lot of the times when we watch anime together, it is while we eat or while we're like cooking in the kitchen or doing something like that. So it's like not background, but we have it going. And Haikyuu just got to the point to where we could not just like sit down and watch it because you have anytime it's subbed like that, you have to like sit down, pay attention, get through it, focus on it, and stuff like that. So I don't like recommending like sub onlys. Now, if somebody's like, Nate, I want just a really, really happy anime where I'm gonna love everyone, Tokubi's Original Sin. Go ahead, check it out, watch it, check back in.
No, you said I'm mean for Promise Neverland. No, if you watch Togepi's Original Sin, uh, I can honestly say that's the darkest anime that I've ever watched, and it hit me like no other anime hit me. Like until like the last episode, then was like kind of like brought it back to kind of undid everything basically. But like going through that anime, like there's not been very many anime where like I watched the episode and I had to take a break because like it was that heavy. But that is the one that I was like, and I feel bad about this because I made fun about Nate for it because he comes in our like anime group chat and is like, "Oh, I just watched this and I gotta take a break," and I'm like, "Oh, you sound like a little bitch." Like I'm like, "You gotta take a break from anime," and then I watched the first episode and I was like, I immediately went to the group chat and I was like, "Nathan, I retract my previous statements and I issue a formal apology. I am now taking a break from the first episode from after the first episode."
Yeah,
Oh,
100%, which I appreciate. I appreciate you coming back. It was a fucked up show. I do not really recommend it at all.
no, I if you want an anime to crush your heart and you want to feel pain and like you just want to just see a realization of how fucked up the world really is, watch it
It
because
is it
it
is
is
tough.
brilliant. It is brilliantly done. It is done very well, but the subject matter is very dark and it is very like kind of makes you kind of realize because it's definitely real world stuff that you're like this hits hard because we know it's actually happening, like that kind of stuff. But on a lighter note, we got Joshua says, I missed it. Sorry, I showed the wrong comment. Dan to Dan
Okay.
for the story.
I'm a fan of Dan to Dan, right? But if we're talking entry level, all right, this one's a tough one. Episode 1 makes this insanely tough to recommend to anyone because anime has certain tropes, fan service, and things like that I try to steer away from. I don't really care for it, all of that, Dan to Dan, episode 1. I watched it in my living room. My wife was in the office, and the whole time I was like, please don't walk out here. Please don't walk out here. Please don't walk out here. I will not ever recommend Dan to Dan as a first anime to anyone. Although I think it might have been like
You
Yeska's first.
you immediately after you watch it though, you're like, you should really go watch Dan to Dan.
Because
And I
y'all
thought,
seen anime.
yeah,
Y'all were good with it.
yeah, but I turned it on and I was immediately like, what is going on?
Now
Because
look, Dan to Dan's fun. It's
it's
cool. I
funny.
like it. It's
Yeah.
fallen off some. I enjoyed season 1 a lot more than season 2, right? But that's a tough one. Tough one to recommend to anyone
Yeah.
that hasn't seen
Yeah,
anime
and
before.
doesn't know that anime has tropes, and this show basically makes fun of all of them.
Well, actually, so real talk here. Dan to Dan is built on like to pay homage and stuff to like sexual assault survivors and stuff like that. It is to show that's why like in the first episode they all look like businessmen to show the aggressiveness and the strength of the women. That is why what's her name? Momo or whatever is so strong, gets her powers there and like survives that. So like it is hard to watch. It is very off-putting. I would not recommend it. But if you have listened to the author at all, they actually explain to you why those things happen, why they are there, and it's actually the exact opposite of what you think.
That's pretty cool. I mean, because when you take it at face value, it's like aliens and ghosts and missing balls and like that kind of stuff. But there are some episodes like the creature that was in the tunnel that was like I mean I can see kind of what you're saying where
Yeah.
an homage to those and like a tribute to that.
I mean, Turbo Granny
Yeah,
saves the souls of assault victims. That's
yeah,
literally what Turbo Granny does. So, yeah, I mean, tough for the first watch, but if you go deeper into it, there's reasons for it. Yes, it was Jessica's first. In my defense, you were at the house, West, as we were watching it. It wasn't designated for Jessica. She was an innocent
yeah.
bystander.
So a couple comments. I'm getting called a dork. I'm getting attacked this time instead of Nate. I don't like that.
I appreciate
Jo-
that. It's good looking out,
Josh,
Lacey.
Josh, I need you to come at Nathan now. But yeah, like you're talking about, yes, his first anime. Oh, that's a strong first anime. So, but there's nowhere else to go but up from there. If that's your first episode of anime that you ever watched,
Yeah.
um, I did. So I have watched one like romance anime, just because I was like, why not? I want to try all sorts of it. It's not for me. It's basically like a chick flick anime. So I would say like if you are into that type of movie, that type of show, like Your Lie in April, like it is a very like it's written very well. It's slower pace, but it's basically about like a piano prodigy that gets brought back to life, and like it definitely has like a lot of emotional like ties in it. It like again, I'd only recommend it if you're like, hey, I really like romance, like that's my type of genre. Like I like rom-com movies, like romance movies, that the Notebook kind of stuff. Like I would say, then go watch Your Lie in April. Hey, I'm not sure if you ever even heard of that one, but
I have not. No, I will say the last like one that I tend to recommend a lot, and this is the people who are like almost anti-anime. I'm like, I don't want them to have to pay attention. I want it something like quick that's kind of cool that like pulls you in immediately. And then like you can just background noise it. It doesn't even matter if you pay attention or not. Solo leveling. Solo leveling is a big one that I recommend a lot of the time. The plot, the story, buns.
I
Not
mean,
good.
it was anime of the year last year. Like,
Which is
yeah,
nonsense.
you
No
gotta
way did it beat Free Run. Free
you
Run
got
should
to
have
give
won
it its
anime of the year.
due. It did win anime of the year.
That's because
Um,
people have the attention span of a freaking 2-year-old. I don't know.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
so this is something I hope we talk about at some point. Anime, like now versus like older anime. It's the same thing with like the argument of Crimson Desert, the video game, about how it's not as hand holdy as like all most games are now. It feels like anime now almost has to hold your hand, like keep you like every episode is some bullshit versus like Freerun, which is a long arc, a long story and stuff, which is the only reason solo leveling won is because people have the attention spans of like a small human child.
well, I mean, technically, a lot of anime is geared towards small human children, but like, eh, I don't know. I definitely enjoyed solo leveling, but again,
Yeah.
it's not one of those that I'm like, you should really go watch this because it's the most amazing thing ever. It's just it's got good fights and good artwork. Like
Yeah.
that's
That's
so if
it.
you yeah.
So like my buddy McCroy, who's like, I'm not watching cartoons. I had him watch an episode of Solo Leveling. And he was like, that wasn't bad. That's right. It was even in Japanese when we watched it, just so we all know.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I bet I could if I like tried real hard, if I like leaned into trying to convince McCroy to watch a anime and I made it solo leveling, I bet he could get through it. I bet he'd watch it.
Yeah.
So there's
Again,
just
it's most. I mean, every episode's fighting. Like
yeah,
so it's not. It's easy to get hooked and like watch the action that kind of as it unfolds.
yeah, and it's
Um,
a cool like come up story. Weakest hunter and all the lands, and then I'm not gonna
yeah,
say sacrifices himself essentially and gets stronger from there, and then builds on it and stuff. Right, so like it is really cool. It is one of the ones that I do recommend a lot because if somebody's like, I don't want to watch cartoons, I don't want to watch this. I'm like, first off, anime is not cartoons. I get it, it's an animated show, but it's not cartoons. But that's a different argument for a different day.
semantics.
Yeah, I push them towards like solo leveling.
Yeah. That I was gonna say like there is like just the cool, like it gets stuck in my head all the time, like where he goes, "Arise." Like I feel like you can't. I don't know if you can quite get that in the sub version, but like when you watch it in dub, like just the coolness of like when he goes arise and like the stuff comes back alive, joins his team or whatever it is, like virtual army, like that makes it super cool.
I've only seen it in subs, so I have no idea. I can't speak to that at all, Joe. But what I can tell you
Uh,
is that show is just running plot armor. It's so annoying.
well, I mean, a lot of
It
main
was it,
characters have plot armor, but yeah, like I do like I like that what finale or whatever where he would like instantly unlock some random ability that just happened to save his life in that very split second. Like I definitely see what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, it's worse than the Uchiha's like oh I need to be able to do this. Oh, I can do this now. It is worse than that, and that was frustrating. So, but I don't know. There's certain shows that I do recommend, don't recommend, all of that. But those for me are kind of my like go to entry, low barrier, Netflix, not real tropish. I do think I'm leaning more and more towards like Castlevania. I had this conversation yesterday at dinner. Like Castlevania is probably one of my favorite animes. I love the adultness of it. It gets away rid of a lot of the tropes. I think for a lot of people, I think it's a good way to get into anime, but then I think it sets a bad standard. I think it's hard to pivot after that one.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just remembered like kind of like I guess it would be a slice of life anime that I watched that I actually enjoyed was called a Gretsuko. Basically, it's kind of like The Office, but they're different like animals. And the main character is like a fox, and she's kind of like going to her daily life, but then like to let off steam, she goes and sings like karaoke, and it's like hard heavy metal, but she's like the most passive person in the office, like does everything everyone asks, but then like in her head she's like angry, and then after like work or whatever she goes and just sings karaoke, like heavy metal karaoke, and I don't know, it's just like a nice, you could throw it on while you're watching, while you're doing other stuff, and it's just funny, kind of like basically like anime versions of The Office in a sense.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. I mean, I would watch a animated version of The Office. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that would be fun.
let's let's see, Josh says Arcane as an intro. That one's tough because
So Arcane ends poorly. I don't like the last season, but where it is not truly an anime, I do think it is a great entry into animated shows because the music, the art style, um, the type of story that it tells, it gets rid of a lot of your traditional animated tropes and stuff like that. What are your thoughts, Joe?
I remember like it took me like 3 episodes to get into Arcane for some reason. What it was based on a game, right?
Yes.
So I never played the game, so I didn't have like any kind of connection to it or anything like that. But like,
Based on League of Legends, bro.
I never played it, man. Sorry. But it did take me like 3 episodes before I was like, all right, like I like this now. Like, but I just felt like the first episodes were a little slow. So I don't know if I would recommend it as a first anime, but I do recommend watching it. It's really good. It just took me a few episodes to get into it because they're hour-long episodes, right? Um,
I don't think so, but maybe I don't remember. See, I have a different memory of it than you. I thought it all happened so fast it was hard to follow, and like with the animations and stuff of the show, it is just all over the place.
well, they're 40 to 45 minutes, so they're not
Okay.
quite the full hour. But again, that's double what a typical anime um, like show is. But I mean, yeah, it was a good anime, but I don't know. I mean, both of us are saying like probably not for an intro, but just for different reasons. So
Yeah. I know. So what right now, so Joe, if you ask me, you're like, what am I looking for? I tell you, I want a balance of all of it. What do you recommend?
a balance of all of it, I would probably say free run because
Okay.
it's storytelling. You're going to say JJK, but
No. I'd
no,
say
you're not. Okay,
Vinland Saga. Vinland
Vinland,
Saga is my you want to look.
I don't know. Vinland Saga is really yelly for a first anime.
No, it is not that yelly. If anything, it's gory. There's a lot of blood. There's a
Yeah.
lot of decapitation. There's a lot of everything, right? It ain't yelly though. It is a
I mean,
little.
the main
Thorfinn can
character
be a little whiny.
screams all the time.
No, no, I haven't watched it in a little bit, but I just
You
don't know.
killed my father, or something like that's
He does
basically,
do that a lot. Yeah.
basically the entire show. But
I mean,
it's good. Like I could see why you'd recommend it, but I mean,
I think
Freerun may be a little on the slower side for a first anime, but
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like free rent, unless they openly state that they want story as like paramount, it is the biggest part of it. What if somebody's like, I want comedy, like I want something kind of weird, kind of different, off the cuff comedy? What do you think?
One Punch Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man is good, except for season 3. Don't watch
Yeah,
that.
well, when I recommend something to someone, I'm like, just watch the first season, and then check back in after that. Like this is like first season kind of thing. Like you don't have to watch the entire show. Although some you like with Naruto, like if you watch the first season, you're like, I kind of have to watch the rest of it to make it make sense.
Yeah,
Like to get super
if you're
good.
gonna watch the first season of Naruto, you gotta watch all of it. Otherwise, the first season's not even worth it.
Yeah, but like when I say like Promise Neverland, like I know there's multiple seasons, but I'm just saying like, hey, first season, go watch it.
Yeah,
One Punch Man, first season. Again, like that's not my style of show, like,
I love OPM.
but it was funny. Like I could say like yeah, it is definitely a funny like just kind of laid back. You want something that's
I think
comedy.
the accessibility of OPM can be tough. I think it's only on like Hulu. It's hard to find. I
Yeah.
struggled to find season 3. Um, but also freaking I go when somebody asks me, I go Mashal or I go
That was a
Mob
good one.
Psycho 100.
I forgot about Mashal. That's basically like one. What is it? The one where Wistoria is basically like Wistoria, but the comedy version.
100%. Creep Puffs,
Cream.
the magic of muscles.
That is my magic powers, Cream.
The, the magic of
Oh
muscles.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that would definitely. I completely forgot about that, but yeah, I would definitely. Mashal is for sure a comedy that I would recommend. Well, I mean, we are a little bit over time. Is there any other that you'd want to throw out there and just kind of like as starter anime or anything? I would definitely say like dub for beginners for sure. I think you kind of mentioned it briefly. Like you don't want to have someone reading it while they're watching their first ever anime. Like the sub is comes later. When you're hooked and you're like, all right, I'm not waiting another week for this. I'm just going to go ahead and watch the sub version.
Yeah, unless they're just like a purist about everything, then maybe. But for the most part, 9 out of 10 times, I'm going dubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, I don't got nothing else, man. I think that's a good combo. I think most people can go and watch. I mean, this is from like a dude's perspective. 90% of what we mentioned is like all fighting shonen type things.
I mentioned a love story.
I said
Yeah,
90%, Joe.
90%.
So if you're looking for anything outside of that, then I don't know. Delicious in Dungeon. Wait, that's still fighting.
Yeah, it's still fighting. It was good though. It was good. It was
It
like
was really good.
it's
Yeah,
almost like slice of life slash fighting. I don't know. It's
yeah.
delicious
Uh,
done was really good though.
I'm trying to think of
Um,
anything else, but I think that's it, man. That's all. I mean, I've never had to go outside of those for recommendations, honestly.
yeah. Well, I guess if you wanted to go like old school, like maybe Bleach. I've never watched Bleach myself, but I've heard
If
that
we're
it's
going old school,
good.
I'm going Trigun.
Trigun. Well, I mean, I watch Trigun, but it's very like Monster of the Week kind of thing.
Trigun is great. Also, I would go Samurai Champloo.
Did I? I'm trying to remember if I watched that or not. I think I did, but no, I didn't watch that. Yeah, I did watch that. I remember now. I remember that was pretty good, but it was very old style looking. Like I do remember, like the artwork and stuff like that was very. I was getting Samurai Champloo, which was actually really good, mixed up with another like samurai show that Eli had recommended to us, and I was like, oh god,
Basilisk.
yeah. Yes,
Basilisk.
Basilisk. Don't recommend. Do
No,
not.
0
Finished
out of
it.
10. I'm
Just to say I
shocked that
finished
Eli
it.
recommended it. I
But,
got to, like, episode 2, and I was like, "I'm done with this. I hate this show."
yeah, but
I hate that it's still on my continue watching on Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll doesn't give me the option to delete it. I don't ever want to continue watching that. Just delete it and just, like, let me be done with it. It
oh,
constantly reminds me of the decisions and the choices I've made as an adult.
yeah, it's like, uh, so that we got Eli has some interesting tastes, I guess. Like he watches all the animes,
All
and
the
that's
animes,
yeah.
100%, yeah.
But awesome. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day, good weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.
Nah, see y'all. Take care.